Welcome to the Pencil Bob channel. I hope you enjoy my stories. Please like and subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you never miss out. Now on with the stories.
I've had it with our HOA. Living in a 55-plus community with my dad should be a peaceful experience, but it's turned into a nightmare. My dad recently found a lawyer's note stating that I'm a qualified permanent resident because I depend on him. So technically I'm not a guest. We gave this note to the HOA last year, and they agreed to let us live here. But now, out of nowhere, they're stopping me from using the community center and walking around on my own. My dad planned to talk to them today, but it's already late, so he'll go tomorrow first thing. I have a strong feeling the manager is just being petty. I can't stand her. When we moved in, we didn't expect any of this. Dad bought the house because he liked the neighborhood. The realtor knew some rules existed but didn't inform us of everything. Dad assumed the HOA would be sensible. We moved in about a year ago, and since then, it's been one issue after another. I'm 19. One incident really sticks with me. I found a pair of lost keys and decided to be a good neighbor and return them to the community center. Big mistake. The HOA manager wouldn't even let me step inside. The first thing she asked was, "Is your dad with you?" I handed her the keys and left. I could feel her eyes on me through the glass door as I walked away. Since then, I've avoided that place like the plague. I like taking walks alone to clear my head. Leaving the community to walk outside helps me calm down, but the HOA told my dad that someone reported seeing me alone, and now I have to walk with him at all times. I'm not 12, I'm a legal adult. This has been extremely distressing. I live with my dad because of my mental illness. Walking alone helps my mental health, but now it seems I can't do that anymore. I had an argument with my dad last week, so walking alone is my safe space. Now that's been taken from me too. I regret that my dad bought this house. I want to move out. I feel stuck. It's like I'm in a prison. After asking around, I found out the reason behind all this. They still consider me a guest because they only allow people 55 plus to be true residents, so they can legally discriminate against me based on my age. What a sad, sad way to keep the community safe. I can't truly be a resident here. Either I stay inside and rot or go outside with my dad hovering within 5 feet of me. Just found out I'm not actually a guest, so this cancels out, but the damage is already done. I didn't sleep last night. It's like I'm under house arrest. I'm not even allowed to leave the house. I cried a lot last night and this morning. My mental health is plummeting. I'm considering a lot of the advice people have given me and appreciate it all. My dad is thinking about talking to a lawyer. I might also try posting in a legal advice subreddit. It's ridiculous that they're preventing me from walking outside just because I'm supposedly a guest. I've been living here for a year and plan to do so for the rest of my life. If I could, I'd sell the house. Any attempts to talk to the HOA manager have been useless. We're planning to contact our attorney. This situation is unbearable. Living in this community feels like being trapped. The rules they enforce are beyond comprehension, and it's affecting my mental health in ways I never thought possible. Every time I step out, I feel the weight of their judgment. It's like they're watching my every move, waiting for me to slip up. I remember once I was just sitting on our porch, minding my own business, and the manager walked by giving me that look. You know, the kind that makes you feel small, like you don't belong. It's infuriating. My dad is just as frustrated. He feels guilty for buying the house, thinking it would be a great place for us. He didn't foresee these problems, and now he's trying to fix them. He's talked to a few neighbors, but they seem either too scared to speak up or indifferent. It's like they've all accepted this as the norm, but I refuse to. The whole reason we moved here was for a fresh start. My dad wanted a peaceful place to retire, and I needed a stable environment to focus on my mental health. Instead, it's been a constant battle. The irony is that this place, which is supposed to be calm and serene, has become the source of my anxiety. I keep thinking about that lawyer's note. It's clear that I have the right to be here. But the HOA is acting like it doesn't matter. It's frustrating beyond words. They agreed last year that I could live here. What's changed now? Why are they suddenly treating me like an intruder? My dad plans to confront them tomorrow with the note. He's determined to set things straight. But I'm not hopeful. I've seen how stubborn the manager can be. It's like she's on a power trip and I'm her target. Every time I see her, I feel a knot in my stomach. I hate her. I hate this place. I never thought I'd say this, but I miss our old neighborhood. It wasn't perfect, but at least I didn't feel like a prisoner. I could walk around without being scrutinized. I could breathe. Here, every step feels heavy, like I'm walking on eggshells. I try to stay positive, but it's hard. My dad and I argue more now. The stress is getting to both of us. I can't even go for a walk to clear my head. I miss the freedom of being able to just step outside and go wherever I want. Now I'm stuck. We've started looking into our legal options. My dad's been on the phone with a few lawyers trying to find one who can help us. It's a slow process, but we need to do something. We can't keep living like this. The HOA can't keep us prisoners in our own home. I think about the future a lot. I had plans, dreams of what I wanted to do. This place was supposed to be a stepping stone, a place to regroup and move forward. Now it feels like a trap. Every time I think about the HOA, I feel this deep sense of frustration and anger. I just want to live my life. I'm not asking for much. I want to be able to walk outside without being monitored. I want to feel like I belong here, like I'm not an outsider. But right now, that feels impossible. I'm trying to stay strong, but it's hard. My mental health is suffering, and it's taking a toll on me. I know my dad is worried. He's doing everything he can to help, but it's not enough. The HOA has too much power, and they're using it to make our lives miserable. I don't know what will happen next. We're waiting to hear back from the lawyer. Maybe they can help us, maybe not. But we have to try. We can't just sit back and accept this. We have to fight for our rights, for our freedom. I keep reminding myself that this is just a bump in the road. It won't last forever. We'll find a way out of this, one way or another. In the meantime, I have to keep going. I have to stay strong, for myself and for my dad. We'll get through this. We have to. HOA could lien the house for non-compliance with HOA rules or get OP permanently barred from the community. 55-plus communities are one of the few exceptions to anti-discrimination laws. HOA is technically being lenient by making a mental health exception. Unless there is some state-based rule on this, I'm not aware of any. They don't have to, and could easily vote that out of the bylaws if they wanted. Correct, Youngstown, Arizona was 55-plus. They had kids come in, there was a lawsuit, and they basically list their 55-plus status. They didn't enforce their rules and they paid for it. I've lived in 2 55-plus communities. The first was in my 40s. I purchased the house next door so I could keep an eye on them, my elderly parents. The HOA, about 1,400 houses, allowed a certain percentage of over 18-year relatives as owners. My current community is fairly new. I'm over 55 now and bought here for retirement. They have no exception for purchasers. There are some under 55 people here, though. Most are kids of owners. As far as I know, they don't have restrictions on using facilities. As far as I'm concerned, HOA tried to steal my car. Background: I just moved into a trailer park last week with my significant other and another couple who are good friends with us. We signed our lease 2 months ago, and we specifically picked this area because it had no affiliation with the HOA. HOA was a deal breaker for all of us when we were looking for a place to move to. When we moved in, we found out that maintenance did not do any of the work to prepare the trailer for us that they said they would do in the 2 months from when we signed the lease to the move-in date. Smoke alarms broken and blaring, trim warping off the walls, bathroom sink constantly flooding the spare bathroom, amongst some other things. Our driveway also isn't big enough for all of our cars. My roommates each own an SUV, and my so and I own an old 96 South Carolina 1 Saturn. Our car looks beat down, but it runs great. The previous owner took great care of the engine, so personally I don't care about how it looks. The driveway has a small cement retaining wall between us and our neighbor's yard, so we squeezed all 3 cars onto the driveway as best we could, but even so, only half of the third car can fit on the concrete. Since there was all cars need to be parked in driveways unless the driveway is full. Whenever one of use goes out of their car was completely on the cement, whoever was not completely in the driveway pulls out and takes their spot to be in compliance. It says in the lease not to park in the street at all. So this is physically the best we can do. We checked in with the office, and they said since our driveway is small, making an effort to be in compliance is good. Yesterday at 10 a.m. I was going to head out to get some more things moved, and I noticed I had a flat tire. About a month ago my spare went out and we were in the middle of moving, so it was on the docket to get new tires after the move. My roommates took me around to get the tire rimmed when they got home from work, around 6 p.m. since we were going out. Before I took the tire off to get a new one rimmed, we made sure the car was backed out and put all the way on the driveway. When we came back, my car was gone. The tow truck just passed us on our way into the park with the car I was just working on the back. We flagged him down and he said that inoperable vehicles are in violation of HOA, and that if we give him $100 right now, he'll tow the car back up the street. Otherwise, if he takes it to the lot, it'll be $300. Neither my so or I can even get to work without this car, so we had to borrow $100 in cash from our roommates since payday wasn't until the morning, and by then the fees would have wiped out our paycheck. The tow truck just kept saying it was in your lease. And no, it was not. He also claimed it was not his call to tow my car. He got pictures from the management to tow it but didn't have access them after he got the call to pick up the car. Our neighbors saw us arguing with him and said that just a few days ago the park got new owners, and they were being ridiculously unreasonable. I am beyond pissed. Can't fix a damn thing in our place, but can literally wait until I go to get a part to fix my car to try to effing impound my car? A car that I can't pay rent without, and you don't offer us a lot with adequate parking? Let me explain what the tow truck driver said. In order for me to replace my tire and it be in HOA compliance, the vehicle must have someone inside or standing next to it while the tire is being rimmed in a shop. So I have to take my tire off, have someone guard my car, and ask a third person to drive me to a tire place for my car to not be randomly impounded? Because they call it yard waste. This was on a 10-hour timeline, for the majority of which my car was in compliance, tire on, inside driveway. What the actual F? Update. We went to the office. Basically nothing of note was said that actually helps. So there are new notices about yard waste that were posted in the past few days. However, the office said that as long as the cars are mostly on the pavement, for example, one tire on the grass is not a violation. They also said that non-permanent changes to the property are not a violation. So, for example, we can cover part of the front yard with gravel so that there will be space for all of our vehicles. In the meantime, we can park at the visitors' parking. I find this interesting because in that parking area, there are signs posted, temporary parking, only vehicles parked here will be towed at owner's expense. We did ask for confirmation of this to be emailed to us, so we have documentation and are currently waiting for this to be sent to us. During the initial deposit, we were given a link to put our emails into management's system, which is separate to the contact emails we used when signing the lease. But the link was broken and went to nothing. They gave us the link again, because they claim they have sent us things to the email on file, but none of us have received anything from management after looking over our emails. We asked about the pictures work order the tow truck driver said he had, but the person in the office has no such pictures or tow orders from our property, but they do not have access to all the information from the park, and that there is a possibility the manager has documentation. Basically, all we got was, "I don't know, man, I just work here. Ask the manager, but they won't be in until Monday." The person in the office didn't even know if we were in HOA jurisdiction. We were speculating that something shady was going on, given that the tow truck driver kept giving excuses like, "Well, if the car was in compliance, I wouldn't have towed it," despite him saying he had no pictures showing it was in violation, even though he was dispatched because there were pictures of it being in violation. To me, it sounded like he was going to tow my car no matter what. And he sounded like how cops do, where they just give justifications for their actions which may or may not be founded. Also, him giving us the car back, "If you pay $100 in cash right now, or it'll be $300 if I take it all the way to the tow yard," sounds like some kind of bribe to me. The driver was wearing a ballistic vest and body camera, don't know if that's a thing with them now, and took a picture of my license when we paid him. He claimed he worked for the state, but the card he gave us if we didn't pay them, and there was for a private tow company, which I suppose they could have a contract or some sort with law enforcement. I'm not sure how that works. In the meantime, new tire is on, and we parked one of my roommate's cars at their sister's trailer in the same park down the street. We will be talking to the manager on Monday to see what they say. HOA means Homeowners Association. So if you're renting, I'm not sure how an HOA would have any bearing on your situation. Since you are renting, you basically have no property rights, and must comply with whatever rules, however unfair you may think they are in your lease. This situation definitely sucks. I'm in no way supporting what they did to you, but I also can't tell you that you were in compliance of their rules based on what you've posted here. Well, that sucks. Sounds like you got a real lemon of a trailer park. New management can be a real crapshoot, especially when they start throwing their weight around like that. Here's what I'd do. Read your lease carefully. Look for anything about parking, vehicle condition, or towing. If they're violating the lease, you've got leverage. Document everything. Take photos of your car where it was parked, any signage, and any damage from towing. Get witness statements from your neighbors if you can. Talk to management politely but firmly. Explain the situation and how it contradicts what you were told. Ask for a refund of the towing fee. Consider legal action. If management isn't cooperative, look into small claims court. The threat of legal action might get them to back down. Contact local authorities. Report the incident to the police or consumer protection agency. They might have dealt with this tow company before and could offer advice or assistance. Join forces with your neighbors. If others are having similar issues, band together. There's strength in numbers. Don't let these jerks walk all over you. Good luck and keep us updated.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.